Greetings everyone, this is Elizabeth. Thank you for joining me today. I have another design with me item open. This is the Spruce Sprig I designed in black on white, and now I want to do it on white on black. Now I did not just simply copy and paste in reverse colors. Well, I did, and it looked like yuck. So what I did is I just traced the main veining. And after doing that, I go in and I lay in each line. This little section is slowed way down. I didn't actually go that slow to put in each line, but you can. If you're unsure, you can definitely go as fast or as slow as you like. And basically what you're doing is you're creating V's. These where the bottom point is pointed towards the center of the tree, and the outermost openest point of the V is like raising hands out to the heavens. They're pointed out towards the world. Now the video is sped up. I actually don't go this fast either. I'm kind of in the middle there. But as I'm laying it down, about here I realize these lines are super thick, and when I start laying more lines over the top to kind of fill it in, it's going to fill it in too much and look like a grand blobby mess. So after I get all of these individual lines filled in, I'm going to go back and select everything and reduce the size of the mark, so then I can go in with a thinner line and do some really good filling in. And your lines, they don't have to be perfect. If you pick up a sprig of spruce or pine or anything like that, they're made up of tiny little pines. They're not touching, so even though I'm creating a V, I'm not doing it like a V where you go down and up all in the same. I'm going down on one side and then up on the other. That way they're offset a little bit, because if you look at a sprig of tree, leaves, anything, they're never out the same spot. They're always offset a little bit. Even the most compact areas, they're going to be offset a bit. Now with the thinner lines, you can see I'm going in and filling in the base a little bit, because if that little nub was attached to a real branch right there, the little sprigs do have little nubs at the end. And spruce, and I think some pine trees and others, the little twig down the center that holds all the needles comes to a point at the end, but it's more of a rounded point. So that's why I go through the center, fill it in really dark, and then kind of round out the tip of the branch a little bit. And you definitely want to fill in the center line the most, because that's a solid part of the little sprig. Like the one part no light's going to go through is the center that holds all those little pine needles. Now I'm going to go ahead and let some music play, because even though it is nicely sped up, it takes a little bit. And then I'll be back with you at another point to discuss some other stuff, okay? Enjoy the music. Okay, so here I've grabbed my selection tool and I'm just selecting some little pine needles that are kind of wonky. They're like those little stray eyebrow hairs that you need to pluck out of there. And I'm able to select each individual line that I want to delete because I used the paintbrush tool. It's one of my favorite tools in Illustrator. It literally is like drawing on a piece of paper with a pen. You can lay down each individual line, you can erase it, put it back, anything you can imagine. The other tool in the same grouping with the paintbrush is the Blob Tool. The difference between the two, if you use the Blob Tool, if you put down a mark and then put a mark over the top of it, the two marks become one. And so when you go to delete it, you have to Control Z or Control undo and back up until you find that spot where you laid the one line on top of each other. So it makes this kind of editing very, very hard. Unlike the paintbrush, where you lay down each individual mark, you can go back in and highlight just that one teeny weeny mark and delete it. And then we are going in and filling in the center. This is where the fine detail is coming in. When you go to print something or just print, you can be willy-nilly. If the black marks don't bother you, that's fine. You know, you can print whatever you want, really. But if you're doing it for something, like I want to do this for foiling, I want somebody to be able to go in there and foil it and have the foil stick properly. In order to do that, I have to go in there and strategically remove all the teeny weeny black specks that I created by overlapping all my white lines and get rid of them. So that way there, when I print and foil, what I'm looking at is a nice clean image. Now, if you're doing this like I am for a group of friends, or you want to sell it on Etsy or sell it in general, what you want to do is you want to print it, go over it, really look at it and see, does it look good? Hold it away from you, eyeball it, really get in there and look at the printing. Is it centered? Is it even? All of those details. Make some changes that you notice. And there are times when I notice right after print, I'm like, oh, that's off. That doesn't look good. And I'll fix it before I foil it. You don't want to waste the foil, right? So then I foil. And when I peel it back, that's when we can see if a line was too small to foil. And I would mark them on my paper, circle them up, and then go back into the program on Illustrator and go erase those areas that didn't foil very well. So it is a little bit of a process, but in the end, it is so worth it. This image is going to be pretty priceless for me. I've already got cards planned out for this. Sentiments right over the top. I want to do one where it's the reverse. I want to print it up with the black sprigs with a white background and then watercolor the background. I think it will just really pop. And then do little splashes of color on the top, like little sparkles, because it's already going to have the white. So then if I just hit it with a little bit more white so that the branches get some white splashes, and then like blues and purples and greens, like maybe little twinkling lights by the tree or something. So those are my plans. And then ornaments, if you have a good ornament stamp, you can stamp it, cut it, and place it over the top. It's going to be a great looking card, I think. and I'm really liking the last couple of designs that I've put out. They're very thoughtful. I've really been thinking about, you know, placement, getting the most out of it and stuff like that. And I'm so excited. I ordered from a new company for me. It's Anthony's Papercraft. I'll link his shop below, but he did a stamp sprig and some other Christmas elements, his new release. And after I saw it, I was like, oh, that is going to look so good with my design. So I ordered it, and hopefully it'll be here in a couple of days, and I will make cards using both my design and something from somebody else's. And that's my hopes, is that people will see this and be inspired to just create and bring in other elements and just make it unique in their own. And this is about the end of it, sort of. There's a couple minutes left, it looks like, but it's just me doing the final touch-ups, and then I will switch to the other view so we can have one more look at the reversed image. And with that, I will say have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.